Shalom Aleichem. Once again, we have a learning from the Sefer Rav Shalom from HaRav Shalom Adler, who was a great Rebbe. From we'll look at the Sharablot at the introduction. It'll tell us about it. Let's take a look at it on Parshas Chukas, about Zos Chukas Torah. This is the chok, the judgment of the Torah. In other words, something that we don't understand, but still it's the Torah. Zos Chukas Torah from last week's Parsha. Let's take a look at it right now. Yeah, this is Rav Shalom al HaTorah, and this is by HaRav Shalom Adler, Zecher Tzadik Levracha, Av Bezdin the Kila Kadisha Saredne v'Hagalil, Saredne v'Hagalil, the Galil, that's the Galilee, I think, the Galil. So this is Rav Shalom. So let's take a look at this. Parshas Chukas. Zos Chukas HaTorah. Zos Chukas HaTorah. This is the judgment. This is something that we don't understand, but it's still chok. It's something that it's like a king says it, and this is something that's a commandment for us. Torah. We don't necessarily understand it, but Hashem says it, so that is it. Yeah. Well, Perish Rashi says Shekol HaTorah hi chok kipara aduma, and the Rashi says that the whole Torah is a chok, is the same way. Chok means it's something that we don't understand it, like we just said. A mishpat is something that we understand, like one shouldn't steal. One shouldn't kill. But a chok is something that doesn't necessarily, to our human minds, make sense. But still, Hashem said it. So Rashi says that the whole Torah is a chok, kipara aduma, is the same way. Like the para aduma is a chok, so the whole Torah is a chok. Ayin ba'al hakeda. So it says, look at the ba'al hakeda. Venera, and it seems the Adua Shepora Aduma Nikra Chok Al Shem Shehi Mitayer Tamehim Umitame Tahurim. And it seems that it's known that the Para Aduma is called a Chok. It's called something we don't understand because it's Mitayer Tamehim, somebody that is Tameh, that is impure. So it's Mitayer. It makes them pure. It makes them ritualistically pure. Metahir, it makes him tahor. Umetame tahorim, and if the person was tahor, so it makes that person tameh. Umetame tahorim. So in other words, it's like very hard to understand. How can we understand something like that? V'chedemyon zeh hu mamash limud haTorah, and in this demyon, this example, like this way, hu mamash limud haTorah. The same thing is limud haTorah, learning of the Torah. Oh, so maybe that's why it says, that's what he means by saying that the shekol HaTorah hi chok kipara aduma, that the whole Torah is a chok, something that we don't quite understand, kipara aduma, like para aduma. And the same way that we don't understand it, but Hashem says it, so that's the way it is. So mamash, that's the limud HaTorah, is the learning of the Torah is the same way. Shekol darchei ish yashar be'einav, because all of the ways of man, yashar, are straight in his eyes. In other words, everybody thinks they're going the straight path, that what they do is really the right way. Everybody estimates himself to be tahor, to be pure of heart, and everything. Mechazik atzmo, he like strengthens himself letohor, that he is doing the pure motive. He's a tohor, v'kadosh, and he's holy. Ki kol negoim adam roeh chutz min negoi atzmo, because all of the flaws of man the person sees, except for his own flaws. He sees everybody else what they do wrong, but he doesn't see what he does wrong. Amnam kol zeh im hu rachok meTorah. However, this is only if he is far from the Torah. If he's far from the Torah, from the learning of the Torah, from the doing of the Torah, aval im ish tahor be'einov kozeh medabek atzmo l'Torah. Aval im ish tahor be'einov kozeh medabek atzmo l'Torah. However, if a person he feels that he is doing everything in the right way in his own eyes, but he attaches himself to the Torah, to learning of the Torah. However he learns the Torah, with a group or by himself, he is starting to attach himself to the Torah. V'roa sifrei musar v'agados, and he sees sifrei musar v'agados. He sees the different svarim, the different books of musar, of instruction, of moral instruction, v'agados, hashas, and also the various stories of the Shas, which also tell about Musar, about doing things the right way. Azai roa ki hu tamei mikaf regel v'yad rosh ein bo matos. So then he sees, if he's starting to learn the Torah, and he's learning the stories of the Shas, of the Agados, Azai roa, then he sees ki hu tamei, that he sees that he is really not so pure, and he is tamei, he's impure, mikaf regel, from the heel of his foot, from the heel of his foot, v'yad rosh ein bo matos, until he's tamei from the heel of his foot until his head, ein bo matos. V'hamitzvos, with this I'm not sure, ein bo matos, it can be looked up. Yezras Hashem. V'hamitzvos u'ma'asim tovim shalo milayim mumin u'machashavos zaros. And also the mitzvos, he thinks I think, and we all think we're doing mitzvos and ma'asim tovim, good deeds. So the mitzvos and the ma'asim tovim shalo of this person, milayim mumim, are full of mumin, their imperfections. In other words, it's not being done in the best way possible. Umachashavos zaros, and also with different thoughts, strange thoughts that are not Torah-dik thoughts, machshavos zaros. Uvechol pesia peshia, in every step that he's doing, peshia, it's like a mistake. One is doing a mistake. Chas v'shalom. Kilo am ha'aretz chassid. Because a person that does not have the knowledge of the Torah, that's an am ha'aretz chassid. Cannot be a pious person because one does not have the knowledge. One first has to have the knowledge, and then one can start doing the mitzvos. Kilo yoda b'ma yichshol, because he will not know if there is a certain avera, what it is avera, what is not an avera. So in other words, one has to start learning the Torah and getting knowledge and seeing what we have to do according to the Torah. V'im kain, therefore, ha-Torah hi metame oso kepara aduma. So therefore, a person like this that thinks everything that he is doing is good, but then he starts learning Torah, so the Torah is metame oso kepara aduma. It makes him tamei. He sees what he is doing is not really so good, and maybe he's doing it for the wrong reason. So this makes the person that feels he is very tahor, it makes him tamei. like a para aduma, like the para aduma. The para aduma makes somebody that is tahor, it makes him tamei. Ki limud haTorah metamei tahorim ko'ele, because the learning of the Torah metamei tahorim ko'ele makes the person that feels that he is tahor, that everything he does is good. It makes him tamei. It makes him, in other words, it doesn't make him tamei, God forbid, but it means he sees that what he does is not 100% right. It's not Kilimut HaTorah, the learning of the Torah, metamei tahorim kaele. It makes the person that is pure in his eyes like this, it makes him metamei, impure. In other words, he sees what he is doing that is wrong. Like we see. So it shows him that there is room for a lot of improvement. One has to really do a lot of improving. However, achar kach memela shaTorah metaher also. But however, after he starts learning the Torah, memela shaTorah metaher also. So it goes for sure that the Torah is metaher. So the Torah then starts purifying him. The Torah starts purifying the person because he's learning what is the right way. After he sees eich sheto'o bi'atzmo metaken u'meitiv derachav. So after he sees what he did, the wrong that he did, the things that he was doing was wrong, metaken u'meitiv derachav. He fixes it. Umeitiv, and he makes it good, like chiv, it's like tov. Metaken umeitiv derachav. He fixes and he makes whatever he did good. He starts improving. Shekilkel bekoach umeitiv derachav shekilkel bekoach haTorah. Shemisayehu. So he starts making things good, what he did not so good. Bekoach HaTorah, in the strength of the Torah, Shemisayehu, which helps him out. Since he's learning the Torah with Hashem's help is starting to help him out, and he's starting to do things in the right way. V'hi hatavalin liyetzer hara. V'hi hatavalin liyetzer hara. This is the good potion against the yetzer hara, against the evil inclination. The learning of the Torah is the good potion, the refuah, the spice that makes one refuah healthy again against the yetzer hara. Umar lo nasiv hachayim, and it shows him nasiv hachayim, the way of life. Nasiv hachayim, the way of life. V'eich tzarech lavod es Hashem, and how one has to serve Hashem when one starts learning the Torah. V'al she'amru al ma'amar, the brachos say, and according to the way that it says, the saying of in brachos hey, brachos, that's in the Talmud hey, that's the fifth page, the first amud, the first side of the page. Brachos hey, im rove adam sheyesurin boyin olav yefashvesh b'masav. If a person sees that yisurin boyin olav, that he's having a lot of yisurin, a lot of complications, and he's suffering a lot. He sees that suffering is coming to him. Yefashvesh b'masav. He should go and start examining his works. He should start examining the way he does things. V'chulam. Lo matzah. If he didn't find anything bad with the way he does things, yetale b'vitl Torah. So he should address this to Bittul Torah, that he was Mevatel Torah. He wasn't learning the Torah when he should have been learning it. Yitla, he should hang it. He should hang the reason for why he's getting a lot of yisurin, a lot of tribulations coming upon him on Bittul Torah. Medaikim she'ein lecha chet gadol mizeh. Medayikim she'ein lecha chet gadol mizeh. and we can learn from this. There's no sin that is bigger than this. Raka kavana, the kavana, the intention is because since he did not learn, he's not able to understand what he did wrong. He doesn't know. So because he didn't know, that's why he doesn't know the right thing to do. Once he knows the right thing to do, then he can start, with Hashem's help, he has the knowledge, he can start doing things the right way. So in other words, it's not really the worst thing in the world, but it means that since he doesn't know where to begin, so he doesn't know what's right and what's wrong. The basics, of course, he knows, but get further into it. So she'achar shalom lamad, since he did not learn, lo yochol lefashvesh, he's not able to examine because he doesn't have the knowledge to know what he's doing that's wrong. Ki lo yimtza avon liolam, he will not find avon, a sin forever, because he thinks he doesn't know what is right, what is wrong, until he starts learning, learning the Torah. So if he doesn't see any sin at all, so then he thinks, well, I'm doing things the right way. What's going on here? So in other words, you start learning, you see what's right, what's wrong, and one can start examining one's situation. V'zehu ha'perish. This is the explanation when it says Zos. This is Zos. Rav Shalom ha'para aduma hi b'emes chukas haTorah. The para aduma is truly chukas haTorah, something, the chok, the thing that we don't understand what it is, what Hashem is, but still it's Hashem said it, so it's a commandment. So the para aduma is the emes, truly chukas haTorah. Shemetame taharim umetaher timeim. Because the para aduma shemetame taharim, it makes somebody that is tahor, that is pure, it makes him tameh because he's able to see what he's doing wrong. He's doing something wrong, but he doesn't know it. But he's learning the Torah, so then he can see what he's doing wrong, and it's metameh him. He sees, oh, I did this thing the wrong way. So umetaher tameim. So then once he sees what he's doing the wrong way, then he can start doing things the right way. So that's therefore umetaher tameim. So then it makes the person that is tamei, the person that is impure. One finds out that one is not so pure. So one finds out the reason, so one can correct it, Be'ezras Hashem, with Hashem's help. So metaher tameim. So then it makes tohor. It makes the somebody that's impure. It makes him pure. V'dochek tzas v'alpi divrei according to what the Torah says. Para aduma hi malchus v'torah sheba'al peh korinan la. And what it says in the pasuk, para aduma hi malchus v'torah sheba'al peh korinan la. And if the Torah sheba'al peh, the Torah sheba'al peh, that's the Talmud and the halachos, the rabbinical portion of the Torah sheba'al peh, korinan la, we learn for this. Ve'ikor limud hi Torah sheba'al peh, korinan la. Ve'ikor limud hi Torah sheba'al peh. The main part, the most important part of the Torah is Torah sheba'al peh. V'zehu v'yikchu elecha para. V'zehu v'yikchu elecha para. This is what it means. V'yikchu elecha, you should take for yourself para. this para aduma, this red heifer. Hainu Torah sheba'al peh. So the Torah is also, it's like a hint also that one should be learning the Torah sheba'al peh. The Torah sheba'al peh, the Talmud and the halachos. Sheba'al peh. Aduma mitechila Torah v'yikchu eilecha para hainu Torah sheba'al peh. This is the Torah Sheba'al Peh, the Torah of the oral tradition. Aduma mitchila, oso aduma. Al derech im yiyu chatoechem. So he's doing things aduma like red. Red is symbolic of impure. Aduma mitchila. In other words, at first he's impure. He's mitame. Oso. Then he's doing it aduma. Al derech, and he's doing, but he's starting to learn the Torah. Al derech im yiyu chatoechem, if you have sins, and so it'll be red. Im yadimu. So, and then if it's red, that means it's mitame. The Torah will make malbin kesheleg, will make things like snow, as white as snow. And if one starts learning and doing the right thing. And davening, umetame also. Okay, if yim yadimu, so umetame also. Okay, in other words, if one is starting to learn, one sees that one is not doing things as great as one thinks one is doing. So it makes him. So he's seeing this, and it's saying it makes him. He's seeing he's tamei. He's seeing v'yachakach afterwards also tamima. But then afterwards it makes him tamima. It makes him tahor. It makes him like tamima means like very innocent and perfect. He's doing things without questions. He has questions, but anyway, he's doing it tamimistic. Tamimistic means one has in good faith. In good faith. Afterwards, also tamima. He's doing things in good faith. Umetaher also, and it makes him. So it goes from being red to metairo, so it makes him tohor, meaning pure. It makes him pure again. Ad sheyale lemadregas tzadik tomim, until he will rise up lemadregas to the lemadregas tzadik, until he will rise up to the level of a tzadik tomim, a perfect tzadik, because he's starting to learn the Torah, learn the right way, and so it will rise him up to madregas tzaddik tamim, to the level of a tzaddik tamim. V'hovein, and understand this. This is Parshas Chukas. So this is the Sefer Rav Shalom. Rav Shalom Adler, that's how Zeichet Tzadik L'Bracha, and we're learning. So anyway, we learn that the Torah, learning the Torah is similar to the Para Aduma, which makes one. It's mitame taharim and it's Tahir Tameim. So it's similar. It's similar to Paraduma. So anyway, Hashem should help everyone. The Yidden should help, and also you give refuahs and yeshuas and refuahs and yeshuas to people that need it and that need chizuk, and also the hostages should be freed, and Hashem should help. And everyone needs help. Thank you very much. Refuahs and yeshuas. Kol tuv.